I think what really was the benefit of the Beast video is it got to show my true character and intentions at heart. I mean, on day 99, I had the option to take all that money and I could have paid off the restitution with that. And I didn't because of that bond I built with Lenny. And a lot of my decisions throughout that video were to make sure that, like Lenny didn't get hurt too. I had to think of both of us. And I think when I went through what I did at my age, the news blasted me. It was very one-sided. They never got the full perspective. And I always made even worse decisions trying to do the right thing, but it was just not the right way of doing things. But having that amount of pressure and hate and seeing all those comments from people that you went to school with and that you were close with and really just, making you feel really lousy and miserable about yourself. And I'm not saying I didn't deserve that, but some of it was a little bit extreme too. And it was just definitely, that was the hardest aspect, I think, of my whole journey.
Was it a difficult decision to not split the money?
So I wanted to take all the money in a sense where like I wanted to win the lottery. It was that feeling of it would be great to win the lottery, but I know I'm not going to. So in that moment is I want to hit this button, take all the money, but I know I'm not going to because that's not who I am. I'd be no different than what everyone has said about me in the past if I took that money in that moment. Because he earned that money. He did the 100 days with me. Granted, it was a show, it was a competition, but when everyone says like there's a lot of people in the comments that are like, I would have taken the money. It sounds easy, all said and done, just like saying you'll do 100 days sounds easy, but when you're in the belly of the beast, it's a lot harder. But when you're living with someone for 100 days, you form a connection,
Did you know that he wouldn't take the money?
100%.
And did you think he thought you would or you wouldn't?
I think a part of him thought, especially after seeing the video, how Jimmy was putting it in his head, Jimmy wanted me to take the money because that would have been great content for him. He even said to me in the cell, he's like, dude, I'd love for you to hit that button because no one's done that before on one of his things, on one of these 100-day videos. It would have been great content. If I had hit the button, it was only because I didn't want to be in solitary because I had such a miserable experience. It was literally PTSD. Like it was literally like a wave of emotions being back in there. But that 24 hours that last time felt way better than the 4 hours I was there the first time because it was the feeling of, I know I'm going home after this. There's not another 50 days I have to do. So that got me through it. I got sick as a dog that night. I ate something bad or something. I was literally, because the toilets in there were like these little plastic toilets and they give you a tent to put up in there. So I was shitting my brains out at 12 o'clock in the dark, putting my poop in a garbage bag and passing it through the door for the guard. But Lenny and I had talked about it, like if we were in a situation, we were kind of predicting something like that, we just send the money to each other. So I think he knew that even if I did hit the button, I would send him the money, like his half. But it would also,
was that even legal? Because we asked Jeff from Beast Games, who won the money, what's to stop you from just, taking everything and then splitting it with someone? Yeah,
so Lenny had brought that up too. I didn't read the contract. Like I just skimmed through it and signed it. I had like a couple hours to sign it when I got it. But I think Lenny said that you couldn't do that. I don't know all the specifics. I guess I could read it now, but I mean, I probably would have done it anyways, but I also knew that how they would have painted the picture of me. That was it going to make it in the video? Oh yeah, he sent the money to Letty, afterward. It was literally end with, I mean, look how they edited it. They did a really good job editing that to make it look like I left.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have put that in. They would have just said, Ian took all the money, that's it. And that would have destroyed everything I've worked for. I mean, the criminals would have loved me, but anyone new, they wouldn't have been too kind to that.
What was it like watching the video back?
So I actually got to watch a rough edit of it like the week before, which I was surprised about, but they kind of showed it all and we gave them like some feedback of, hey, do this or do that. It was interesting to see. I like watching the reaction videos from people. I've watched on the plane, I watched a couple of reaction videos that other creators did. But I guess the sad part about it is like you do so much. I guess the sad part is you miss the moments that didn't make it in because you remember everything that happened over those 100 days. Like we did so much. There was so much that, you're 100 days of your life. But I feel like they did an overall good job of getting the good moments. And I thought it was a really nicely done edit. I found it to be exciting.
What are some of the opportunities you've gotten from that?
So this goes back to like what we were talking about earlier about like why I wouldn't have taken it if I didn't have the episodes planned out. People, one of the things they sell you on, like when you're on the casting call, they're like, it's MrBeast, like this is a big opportunity and this is how they can kind of, I guess, get away with the pressure of the timing, like giving you no time to prepare and it's boom, 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 boom. And I get that. He's a big content creator. Like, who's not going to want to work with him? But they kind of hold that on you like that it's this big thing. It could change your life. And when you think about it, right? If you look at my following after Beast compared to before, like there's comments saying, oh, you got all this because of MrBeast. And that's not true. I had 1.2 million followers on TikTok before MrBeast, and I think I went up like 20,000 on TikTok. Audio downloads and stuff, I'm up 20% since the release over the past week, which is cool. And my YouTube's up. I put on like 15,000 subscribers. But conversion-wise, I went up like 3,000 Instagram followers. It's not as big for the exposure that it is. It doesn't really convert that well. I think Madge's video is the exception because he became one of them, like one of the boys, and he was physically posted. They don't tag you in anything. I'm not tagged in any of the posts. Any following I got was because we were working the channels all day, responding to comments, making posts, putting out clips, doing like the solo episode, like me interviewing Lenny and me talking about my experience solo and responding to as many comments on the Beast video, but they don't promote you in that sense. I mean, perfect example is a guy that won Beast Games. I think he's got 60,000 followers on Instagram. That was one of the most watched shows in Prime history. Mm-hmm. You would think that that would convert to a lot more on YouTube, on Instagram. It's just that following doesn't convert. And maybe it's the audience demographic or whatnot. But I look at it as if I tanked my YouTube channel for 3.5 months to do this, would it have been worth it? And I think the answer is no.
I think it's probably also like attachment to the person in the video itself, because Madge like lost all this weight. And so now people are curious to see like, how is that going to all play out? Mm-hmm. Whereas in this situation or in Beast Games, it's more about like the competition itself and like other sorts of things. Also in Madge, like he had very high emotional swings, ups and downs and stuff like that. So you feel like a lot more of a connection with him.
It's tied to the personality. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy. I think what I've built and having that flow, I think it helps me get in the door for new opportunities, like going on bigger podcasts, and just kind of like, stabilizes you with like, just in general, working with a creator like that and everything. I think it's good, and that'll live there forever, and it'll open the door to more things.
How are the comments on your video? You said you were responding to people.
So the comments were pretty interesting. Yeah. There wasn't like too many negative comments. It was just a lot of people calling me like a fake criminal, like on the reposts, like on those big news article ones that drop, like on World Star or like whatever those big, pop culture ones were. Mm-hmm. People calling a fake criminal or how easy they could do it, or how like everything's scripted or staged. People thought it was scripted or staged, which, it wasn't. There was comments about how I think the biggest topic of conversation was the ending of, would they have taken the money or would they have screwed him over? And I know a lot of my new subscribers that came to my channel and watched the videos appreciated that I didn't screw them over and that they enjoyed watching my content after.